problem, your boy Jabroni. I appreciate you asking. And part of, I think, my approach to like streaming Pokemon and playing the game, streaming it and making videos and stuff is to try and help new players get into the game. Because admittedly, what I have found is that the Pokemon trading card game is very easy to learn. You play the tutorial in PTCGO, and in 10 minutes, you've got the gist of how to play it. Everything after that is hard. Like, you play against the computer, and then you don't understand. You keep playing the computer. Let me, just as an example, you go to the trainer challenge, and you play against the computer, and you unlock 1 star, but then it's not clear how you get the other stars, and then you figure out, oh, I have to play different decks, and then you got 3 stars, but you don't know how to get the 4th star, and you have to go and like get another theme deck, and then play against the computer again. And then there's the whole thing of like, all right, well, I'm going to play. I think I'm good. I played against the computer. I'm gonna go and play against the world. And then you just run into, you show up with one of the pre-made decks, your Mental Might, and then you're all of a sudden playing against Palkia V-Star, and you just get murdered. You get absolutely murdered. And you're like, wait, what the heck happened here? And that gap from I beat the computer with the pre-made deck to how do I stand a chance against someone playing Palkia V-Star on the ladder is massive. One of the biggest gaps, like skill slash like getting the cards, all that stuff. Like how do you go from Mental Might to fighting against Palkia V-Star? And that's I hope that the content that I make on stream and in YouTube videos helps others bridge that gap, because I think it's worth bridging the gap, because the game is so fun and it gets better once you have the good cards. But it is so hard to get the good cards because the game is not built to make it easy to get the cards. Mental Might is such a trap. Such a trap. And for anyone that's not following like what I'm talking about here, is that when you play Pokemon, you play PTCGO, you get 3 decks to start the game. It is, like this Born of Fire, Crushing Current, and there's a water-based one too. And afterwards, this water one, Hidden Depths. Afterwards, you play a little bit, and they're like, "Oh, you've unlocked this deck, and it's called Mental Might." And you think because you've unlocked the deck that it is better than the ones that they give you. And the answer is no. This is actually a really bad deck, and it's only gotten worse over time as this deck has been power crept into oblivion. But even against these other theme decks, and even against the decks that the game starts you with, this deck is absolutely miserable. Your only shot at winning anything is getting Gallade set up, maybe having Miltank attack for a little bit, but really Gallade is here to carry everything. And if you lose even one Gallade, like your entire game plan is toast. The new Mental Might deck I've made does stand a little more of a chance, but that's for another day. And yeah, basically where you're at right now, so many people are where you're at. And I'm just ranting at this point. That's fine. But like, I found myself there when I started this game last year. I loaded it up, and I just saw ADP in Zacian over and over and over again, and I got obliterated every single time. I was like, I don't even know, like how do I even play this game? And it's miserable to start. It definitely requires you to follow other creators, and I think even then there is a gap in terms of what people are talking about, because I think that most of the content, and this, I'm not saying this as a knock to some of the bigger creators in the space, because I love them and they're how I learned how to get to this point. I think that their focus is either here is the most meta relevant deck with the best cards, period, or here's this super weird rogue deck that is, it's still the best version of that deck, but it's like a intentionally underpowered deck that's trying its best to punch above its own weight. But they don't necessarily talk about the experience of like how do I even get to that point? Like, I just want to build a deck that doesn't suck and can compete in the ladder. And I go and look. I don't know how to get the specific cards here. I go to look to trade for a card, and like, all right, great. I want to add Palkia to my deck. How much is it going to cost me to get a Palkia? And then I look and like, oh, I have to cough up. Like, here, where I am getting. Let me sort this out. A lot of people don't even mess with this side of it at all, right? If I want a Palkia V-Star, I'm coughing up. Like, really? I have to cough up 38 packs to get this one card? Are you kidding me? And 38 is actually not even the word. Look, this person's asking for... Wait. Really? 61 packs to get one card? It's the gold one, no less. 61 pack. I'm giving up 610 cards for one card? There's got to be a better way, right? And yeah, Meg, you have to give up your kidneys for Palkia. Hashtag kidneys for Palkia. It's crazy, right? The new game, PTCG Live, is going to be... Okay. We'll rewind that there. Right now, PTCG Live is a dumpster fire of a game. Would not recommend you play it. Don't download a VPN and migrate. Definitely don't migrate your account to Live to play there. However, it does have a system that makes it easier. It's still clunky for what it is, granted. But it's not, it doesn't force you to sell your kidney to get a Palkia V-Star. And I think that's going to be great in the long term. So yeah, I try and cover the I'm getting my butt kicked online. I only have mental might. How do I get there? And I still cover a lot of top tier decks. Most of the stuff I cover is meta relevant decks, but we do try and cover rogue decks and single prize decks and talk about like how do you build a deck that doesn't suck. What's wrong with Live? Oh my goodness, that is a whole can of worms in and of itself. It's ugly. It's incredibly glitchy. The cards, a lot of the cards are bugged and don't work as intended. It is clunky in the way that you get cards. Like the rewards are actually worse in the long run. It's a whole thing. But in short, it is very much not worth anyone's time right now. I think if you want to follow the particulars of it, there is a streamer on here. There is one person on the entirety of Twitch who is their fingers on the pulse of PTCG Live. That's shout outs to Trust Your Pilot. And he's only there because he migrated his account on day one and can't get his cards back into PTCGO. So he's trying his best to make do with Live. But Live is an absolute dumpster fire. Stay on PTCGO as long as you can.